who's engaged in the activity. Otherwise we fall, we lose our balance. And that's where transformation happens. We find ourselves maybe a little more present, a little more patient, a little more still. We meet ourselves face to face with discomfort. And we find that we're not as likely to run from it as we were before. But something else happens in those situations. We find that our whole body wakes up with this electrical flow. And our whole body becomes this instrument of awareness. That the mind isn't in fact localized inside the head. And that's what I'd like to talk more about today. You know, I remember when I first got interested in Eastern philosophy. I was a young pup in college, not even 20 years old. And I found an Alan Watts book. And it was the cover that attracted me, truth be told. It was a groovy 1960s thing with funky orange and green patterning on it. And I loved the idea of the wisdom found in not knowing, what he called the wisdom of insecurity. It was the first time such things were introduced to a Western audience. And then I heard his lectures, and he talked about things like getting with your discomfort in order to nonplus the discomfort. He talked about the importance of not pushing away things like anxiety and fear, because it's the resistance that causes us suffering. Pain is inevitable, he said, but the suffering is optional. And that was quite new to the Western ear in those days. It was just Taoism. It was just Zen, reformulated with scientific examples to bring it to life. And he was quite adept at doing it. And since then, there have been so many wonderful teachers who have made this palatable to the Western ear, because we're so used to pushing things away. We live in a world that tells us to suppress it, to take drugs to get away from it, to get stimulated, to get distracted, to go shopping, it'll make it better, to take something to ease the pain, right? We're not told to feel it. We're not told to just get with it to the point where there is no dualistic division from it, to become the pure awareness. Such ideas are still new to us. And now we've got, you know, the Eckhart Tolles and all of these people who I love. I do love them. And it's true, if we can just get aware with it, then we find it loses its grip. The little demon shrinks in size, and the thing we're pushing away isn't so scary anymore. There's a but. It's only part of the story. It's all true, but it's a bit like putting the cart before the horse. Because underneath this field of awareness is a vibrating, pulsating field of energy that, to use an awkward phrase, does the awaring, or does the perceiving. Who is it that does the perceiving? Who is it that is the pure awareness? It's like Yogi Bhajan, our teacher, says. Our neurochemical field that we call this body, which is just energy, as Einstein said, everything is energy, kind of gets in the way when the hormonal balance is off, when the energetic flow is blocked. It affects how we perceive and how we do the awaring, how we become the awareness. And that's what we're doing here in Kundalini Yoga. That's what all the Tai Chi masters are doing. When they move and they awaken that energetic flow within. Even our cells are vibrating, pulsating, energetic things that resonate with awareness. And when our body is in good, healthy resonance, we become well. When it's not, we become sick. It was Galileo who first used the word resonance in 1602. The best example of something that resonates is a swing, a natural pendulum. It swings, and when we push it, as it oscillates in its own natural frequency, it rises to the maximum amplitude. But when we push at the wrong moment, we interfere with that resonance, and the whole thing gets jacked up. It can even come to a stop. Well, our very cells, if you look at the cells, and there's video footage of this, under very high amplitude, you can see our cells chasing after bacteria. And when the whole system is in good, proper resonance, the whole thing does a better job of everything. It does a better job of fighting illness. It does a better job of perceiving. It does a better job of heightened awareness. It does a better job of focusing. And certain things affect that resonance, like cell phones. Our thoughts, our very emotions are just frequency. At a close-up level, it's just neurochemicals flooding through our body, creating our frequency, the energetic waves that run through our body. And so our thoughts affect that resonance. Sound affects that resonance. You go to the chiropractor, and he uses ultrasound to affect that resonance and to evoke a state of inner wellness.